Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. There was a time when Samsung was the market leader along with Nokia in the Indian mobile phone space. As the market opened up, Chinese manufacturers started selling aggressively not only on the price but on better specifications as well. I remember very distinctly that Samsung phones were never value for money. They were giving less memory and storage at the time compared to competitors. But how times have changed. This is the budget phone from Samsung, the latest one, Galaxy F15 5G. A good phone with specs that is not bad for the asking price that Samsung is putting out to be. Before we get into the review, a small request to subscribe to the channel. You'll find mobile phones, laptops, gadgets, earphones and extremely useful tips on technology here. Okay, so let's get into the review. The best feature that makes this phone value for money is the screen or display. It's a super AMOLED display, which Samsung is famous for, and it is the first in this price segment. It's a 6.4-inch Full HD Plus display, which is 90Hz refresh rate. Compared to the competition, you're getting a Samsung phone with a Full HD display, which is pretty gracious from an otherwise stingy Samsung. So yes, they are really feeling the heat of the competition now. Even though it doesn't get a dynamic refresh rate screen, it is pretty responsive and has good tactile feel while pressing. Typing and swiping are good. So display is one of the reasons that you could consider this phone at this price range. The next thing is that it's a 5G phone, dual SIM slot, with second SIM slot being a hybrid where you can also use the micro SD like the usual phones. So you get to enjoy the 5G speeds at this 11 to 12K Indian rupee range. Call quality is good with some kind of a noise cancellation feature advertised by Samsung as voice focus. Next is the 6000 mAh battery, which is also 1000 mAh more than others in this price category or the segment. Usually others provide around 5000 mAh. So you get to enjoy more talk time or watch time with this phone. Fourth is that Samsung is promising 4 years of software updates and 5 years of security updates for this phone, which is fantastic. I don't know if anyone will keep phones till that time, but anyways, it's great that Samsung is now improving the duration of the updates. Right now, this comes with Android 14 out of the box. Software is pretty fast. I didn't see the usual lag like what you see in Samsung's low-end phones. Hopefully, it doesn't slow down in the long term. Now that's where I think the features that make this phone value for money ends. But definitely there are other features and the usual specs that we have come to expect from Android phones. That takes us to the camera. It's an okay camera. The rear view camera or the main camera resolution is around 50 megapixel along with a 5 megapixel and a 2 megapixel cameras. The main camera has an aperture of f1.8 which gives you some light into the sensor and decent low light photos. But don't expect too much at this price range. So if you're a person who's seriously into photography, look elsewhere. It has digital zoom up to 10x and video recording is full HD at 30 frames per second. So yes, no 4K recording at this price range anyways. Now just have a look at some of the photo samples here. Now in terms of the build quality, it is a bit heavy at 217 grams and has a plastic back. It has a kind of a toned down budget look of Samsung's top-end S-series phones. The selfie camera is the usual teardrop design in the front display. Holding the phone is good with a squarish design with rounded corners. It is a Type-C charging port with a 3.5mm jack and speaker grill. So sound quality is average, vocals are clear, but there is not much treble and bass. And it makes sense since they say that it does not have stereo support. Now compare it to the last year's Motorola's budget range G13 which sounded way better than this. So this was retailing around a 9K at that time, and I think Samsung should really improve their speakers a lot. Now I think we have covered almost all the expected features from a phone. Now let's talk about the software experience. Even though the bloatware is not that much compared to the Chinese brands, when you're setting up the phone, Samsung does push you to install many of their apps. You can opt out of them to save space. Only install what is needed from the Galaxy store later if you need it. Other than that, the One UI 6.1 is refreshing and not that heavy compared to Samsung's yesteryear software skin. Applications were quick to open and games were pretty decent. There was not much heating while I was playing games. In terms of watching Netflix or YouTube, it only supports Full HD at 60 FPS. So no HDR or fancy things like that when it comes to multimedia consumption. But then this is what you get in this price range, so it's fair. The colors are great and I really loved the blacks while playing the test videos. See how these blacks are really black and not grey like in the LCD displays or other phones in this same price range. So the AMOLED display is the main thing going for this phone. Another thing that I noticed was that the phone was taking a little bit more time to charge. I know that this phone has a 25 watt fast charging, but since Samsung did not give a charger with the box, I was using a different charger. Maybe that may be the reason. Anyways, this is a trend I don't like which manufacturers are doing right now. For that, you need to congratulate the Chinese for still including the chargers in the box. So Samsung has gone for the MediaTek 6100 Plus processor in this. So they haven't gone for their own Exynos or the Snapdragon processors. This is a correct indication of how much they are trying hard to keep the costs low and to price this phone in that 11 to 12K price range and still be profitable. Right, so let's summarize. Samsung took a long time to reach this realization that to give an AMOLED display under 12K must have been a really difficult decision for them. But it's never too late. So if you're looking for an okay camera, decent memory and software experience and you really need a good display and 11K, 12K is your budget and you need a Samsung brand, then this is the phone right now to go, Galaxy F15 5G. I think it's good value for money. Definitely there will be other Chinese phones who will give a better camera and specs in some departments, but this is an all-rounded budget phone which will give you peace of mind, I believe. That's it guys, I hope you liked the review this time, so do subscribe to the channel. I know you only subscribe to the best channels, so subscribe and help me become one. Also, do check out the product referral link in the description and our Insta and FB pages and like them. So until we see in the next video, this is Junaid signing off for Gizmo.